cracks begin appearing in Jacques and Lagerfeld's relationship as Lagerfeld doesn't have time for Jacques and his romantic overtures. To get back at him, Jacques decides to turn to Saint Laurent. During a tête-à-tête with Dietrich, she asks him if he has a style. Lagerfeld charms her with his personalized designs for each of her appearances in cinema, leading her to believe she's his muse. He agrees, "You still are, madam." Although he returns empty-handed, he manages to slip one of his designs for her under the door before leaving. Meanwhile, while Lagerfeld is busy charming Dietrich, Jacques joins Saint Laurent's party and charms him instead. They spend the night together before Jacques joins Lagerfeld the next day for his fitting. During this time, Jacques tells him about his nightly rendezvous with Saint Laurent but quickly changes it to a joke after riling Lagerfeld. After Lagerfeld reaches home, Dietrich calls to let him know that she loved his design but asks for a more modest look for her aged body. During his meeting with Crescent, he negotiates the entire Vogue feature for Dietrich. Dietrich and Lagerfeld have a disagreement about her outfit, and she ultimately inquires what Lagerfeld has to gain from her appearance. Lagerfeld confesses he wants to show all of them what he can do, and Dietrich agrees to lend him a helping hand with the condition, "Do not make me look like the old woman that I am." Like someone in Marlene Dietrich disguise. Lagerfeld confidently assures her that she'll be out in the world again with her panache and nothing short of that. Meanwhile, Jacques and Saint Laurent sleep together again, and Laurent tells Jacques that Lagerfeld had never been with anybody who'd reciprocate his feelings. Later, Jacques brings Lagerfeld an early birthday present while he works. He lies to Lagerfeld about his relationship with Laurent while Lagerfeld invites him to dinner later. At the shoot, Dietrich dislikes the costume that Lagerfeld has designed for her and pulls out of the photo shoot. Lagerfeld lies about her not being able to pay for the suit to Crescent and the team. At dinner, Lagerfeld takes Jacques to the club. However, instead of a personal dinner, it turns out to be a gathering of friends, including Saint Laurent, to celebrate Lagerfeld's birthday. During the dinner, Lagerfeld denies having a relationship with Jacques or even being capable of love, prompting Pierre to tell Jacques that he is just a plaything for men who work too hard. When Jacques returns to the party, he puts an arm around Laurent to rub it in Lagerfeld's face. After coming back home, it's revealed that Lagerfeld celebrated his 40th birthday instead of the 35th that he often tells the world. The episode review. This episode was packed with drama and style as Lagerfeld's ego interferes with his work and relationships. For instance, not only does he take Jacques for granted, but he also brushes off Dietrich's concerns about the dress, saying that he's a designer and doesn't only work for her. The episode features some tasteful dialogue with subtle depth. For example, when talking to Dietrich about her concerns with her age, he responds, "I have hidden myself every day, madam. I don't have this body or stature. I'm not 35 either. It's just what I show the world because it's what the world wants of me. Anyone who sees who I really am would pass me by." These lines convey the pressure that public figures often face. Another great scene in the episode is the juxtaposition of high and low fashion, ready-to-wear and haute couture, which manifests in the rivalry between Lagerfeld and Pierre. While Pierre refers to the two as cavalry, haute couture, and infantry, ready-to-wear, Lagerfeld responds that the trade convention is the alliance of the declining aristocracy and the expanding bourgeoisie. The revolutionary undertones clearly portray the major conflict that rages during the 1970s between the upstart forms of fashion and the old players. Do you own a style? September of 1973. The renowned German actress Marlene Dietrich extends an invitation for Karl to see her at the start of becoming Karl Lagerfeld's second episode. The fashion house's trade show is where he next attends. The competition between Lagerfeld and Pierre Berge is a manifestation of the struggle between haute couture and ready-to-wear. Lagerfeld tells Francine Crescent during the after-party that he is putting together an ensemble for Dietrich. Crescent suggests that if he can get Dietrich to appear in Vogue, something she has never accepted, she could include a 5-page spread of Lagerfeld's ensemble shot by the magazine's top photographer. Lagerfeld doesn't have time for Jacques and his romantic advances, which causes fractures in the partnership to surface while Jacques is traveling to meet Dietrich. Jacques chooses to use Saint Laurent as a means of retaliation. She questions Dietrich about his sense of style during a tête-à-tête. She becomes enthralled with Lagerfeld's customized creations for each of her movie roles, making her feel like his muse. "You still are, madam," he acknowledges. Even though he doesn't have anything to give her, he nevertheless manages to sneak one of his ideas under the door before heading out. In the meantime, Jacques enters Saint Laurent's party and charms him while Lagerfeld is occupied enticing Dietrich. After spending the night together, Jacques goes to Lagerfeld the next day for his fitting. In the midst of this, Jacques tells him about his weekly meeting with Saint Laurent, but after upsetting Lagerfeld, he swiftly turns it into a joke. Dietrich phones Lagerfeld when he gets home, telling him how much she liked his design but that her aged body should have a more subdued appearance. He bargains for Dietrich's full Vogue feature during his meeting with Crescent. After a debate about Dietrich's attire, Lagerfeld finally asks Dietrich what she hopes to gain from her appearance. Dietrich agrees to help Lagerfeld as long as he promises not to make him appear like the elderly woman that she is. Lagerfeld says he wants to demonstrate all of them what he can accomplish. Like someone dressed as Marlene Dietrich. Lagerfeld reassuringly tells her that she will return to the world with style and nothing less. As they share a kiss once more, Saint Laurent informs Jacques that Lagerfeld has never slept with someone who felt the same way about him. Jacques gives Lagerfeld an early birthday present later on while he's at work. He asks Lagerfeld to dinner later, but he lies to Lagerfeld about his relationship with Laurent. During the picture session, Dietrich leaves because she doesn't like the costume Lagerfeld made for her. To Crescent and the team, Lagerfeld fabricates a story about her inability to pay for the garment. After dinner, Lagerfeld takes Jacques to the club. However, it's not a private dinner, rather, it's a get-together of friends to celebrate Lagerfeld's birthday, which includes Saint Laurent. Pierre tells Jacques that he is just a plaything for men who work too hard after Lagerfeld claims over the meal that he and Jacques are not even in a relationship or that he is capable of love. Jacques throws Laurent an arm to poke fun at Lagerfeld when he gets back to the party. It is discovered that Lagerfeld actually celebrated his 40th birthday, not the 35th, as he frequently claims to have celebrated after returning home. The episode analysis. Lagerfeld's ego gets in the way of his relationships and career in this dramatic and stylish episode. In addition to taking Jacques for granted, he dismisses Dietrich's worries regarding the dress by claiming that he is a designer and doesn't work for her alone. There is some elegant conversation with nuanced depth in this episode. For instance, in response to her worries about her age, Dietrich says, "I have hidden myself every day, madam. I am not 35, and I do not have this physique. I just display it to the world because that is what it wants from me. I would be ignored by everyone who saw me for who I truly am." The strain that prominent leaders frequently experience is expressed in these lines. The confrontation between haute couture and ready-to-wear, as exemplified by the rivalry between Lagerfeld and Pierre, is another fantastic scenario in the show. In response, Lagerfeld states that the trade show represents the alliance of the declining aristocracy and the expanding bourgeoisie, while Pierre refers to the two as cavalry, haute couture, and infantry, ready-to-wear. The revolutionary undertones effectively capture the main struggle between the established fashion players and the new forms of fashion that rages during the 1970s.